name is on the list of those staff members that would be laid off with these budget cuts. And it's incredibly disheartening to hear your name on that list.
As we come on the air at 6 o'clock, tough decisions are being made in New Britain, including possible staff layoffs, all due to school budget challenges. What's on the line and how the mayor is responding. It is Friday, April 24th. Thanks for being here. We made it to the end of another work week. Good morning. Thanks for joining us on Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus. I'm Bridget Bureau. We are getting off to a rainy start, but it is noticeably warmer out there than yesterday, Rachel, so we love that.
Yeah, a few showers around this morning, not particularly a soggy start, but we definitely have a few of those around throughout the morning. You can see part of the western side and eastern side of the state now mostly dry, but then there's Waterberry now along 84, light showers around in New Haven too, and there could be a few moderate showers along the Danbury area towards Newtown now. Otherwise, our numbers are anywhere from 7 to about 14 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. 40s across the state for the most part. 45 in Willimantic, a little bit cooler in Union at 40 degrees, but 46 in Torrington and around 51 degrees in New Milford now. So a few showers. Otherwise, it's going to be a partly cloudy sky as we head through the afternoon. Sunshine makes way, and we have temperatures that'll move to around 60 degrees this afternoon. So it's not going to be as warm as yesterday, but still a beautiful day overall. At 61 in Hamden, 61 in Bristol, 60 degrees in New Haven. So we're going to get warm right down to the beaches today. 50 across southeastern Connecticut, like 56 in Groton. We are tracking some changes though as we head into this upcoming weekend. Cooler numbers settle in for our Saturday. Will only be around the mid 50s, and there's an opportunity for some rain. If you're on the western side of the state, I think you see rain first. If you're on the eastern side, there is a good opportunity for you to get in a lot of dry hours and activities outside for our Saturday. It looks like it's going to move in right around the dinner time hour for the eastern side of the state. And then as we head through our Sunday, temperatures will be in the mid 60s under a mix of sun and clouds. We'll time out those showers for you so you can better prepare for Saturday coming up in just a bit. Here at 6:02 on our roadways this morning, taking a live look outside over in Hartford as that sun comes up here. It looks okay out by exits 50 and 51 through the Hartford Tunnel. Looks like we have wrapped up any road work in the area, so traffic in those exits are open this morning. Farmington now, road work has cleared on 84 out by exits 37 or so that is cleared up there. In New Haven, both 95 north and south. And also 91 north and south look all right. So Hartford to Waterberry 28, Hartford to Waterberry to Hartford 28 as well. And then Knoxville to Seymour, no delays on Route 8 south at 11 minutes. Bridget.
Rachel, thanks. Some major budget cuts are on the table for New Britain public schools. The city superintendent proposed nearly $12 million in staffing and program cuts for the next school year. Fox 61's Len Kittle joins us live in New Britain with what education leaders had to say at last night's school board meeting. And Glenn, if this gets approved, this likely means bigger class sizes for students and teachers out of a job. A really big impact there.
Good morning, Bridget. Yeah, New Britain's Mayor Bobby Sanchez described these proposed cuts as scare tactics. That's after the district said that they need $19 million more in order to have things remain as normal throughout the district. Now, those cuts are going to be including the closure of North End Elementary, a myriad of cuts to middle and high school sports and clubs, and also 103 staff layoffs, which would include cutting 49 non-tenured teachers who are required by law to be notified about their jobs being cut by May 1st. Now, in a letter penned to New Britain School Superintendent, Mayor Bobby Sanchez and the New Britain delegation said they want accountability from Gasper. They claim the numbers just aren't adding up. Now, that letter says in part, quote, the superintendent's public statements have been troubling as they are revealing. They reflect a fundamental misunderstanding of how the city budget is structured and how education funding is actually provided. It's easy to demand tens of millions of dollars from New Britain taxpayers when you do not personally bear the burden of those tax increases yourself. While proposing a raise for yourself an already nearly $300,000 salary, working families, seniors, renters, and homeowners already stretched thin are the ones who would be asked to pay the price for a request of this magnitude. They deserve better than scare tactics, misplaced blame, and finger pointing. Now, going on in that letter, the district says that the budget requests $146 million from its general fund. Then of that amount, $72 million is funded through ECS formula, and $55 million is already committed by the city through the minimum budget requirement. Now, the remaining quest of $18 million, with the mayor's proposed $1 million in an MBR increase and millions in anticipated additional state support, the remaining gap will be significantly reduced, and those facts should have been guided by a more responsible and measured approach, according to that letter. Now, every person who made their way to the podium to address the board asked administrators to not go through with these cuts.
And we have, of course, people with bills, mortgages, single parents, and so forth that are counting on employment and doing what they love, which is to teach the kids of New Britain. And right now, that's all up in the air, unfortunately, for a lot of these teachers.
So my name is on the list of those staff members that would be laid off with these budget cuts. And it's incredibly disheartening to hear your name on that list, and just to hope that you would consider the human beings who are being affected, the people who have families, who have children, who care about their students like they are their children.
Now, in the end, the board is going to need more time to go over these proposed cuts and all the numbers themselves. Right now, though, the clock is ticking. They need to notify those staff members about the layoffs by May 1st, and then also they need to come up with a budget by June. Live in New Britain, Glenn Kittle, Fox 61.
That relationship, Glenn, between the superintendent and mayor is clearly strained. Hopefully they can come together in the interest of students and teachers. Thanks so much. Well, developing this morning, the water superintendent in Waterberry has resigned after he was accused of misconduct. The mayor says the city uncovered the misconduct during an investigation into water flow issues. Fox 61's Tim Latow has the latest on the development.
You might recognize the name Bradley Millay. He's been at the forefront as the city has dealt with multiple water main breaks over the last few months. Now city leaders say Millay has engaged in misconduct during his time as water superintendent.
We never faced a situation of re-energizing a system the way we're doing it right now.
It was a winter of water main repairs unlike any other. Water Superintendent Bradley Millay was there through all the snow, rain, mud, and long hours. Now Millay is out of a job, and the city is investigating its water flow issues. The city says on Wednesday, Millay was asked about the alleged misconduct during an interview. He then declined to answer and resigned on the spot. Parts of Waterberry's system are more than 130 years old and suffer multiple catastrophic failures over the fall and winter. Some caused people to lose water for days and took weeks to repair. We saw Millay there working late nights and early mornings alongside his crew. In the aftermath, he worked alongside city officials and spoke to our crews multiple times. He and other leaders attempted to secure federal aid to help mitigate future main breaks.
It can always happen again. I mean, you can always have a catastrophic break somewhere. All we can do is try to mitigate how we will handle it if it does happen.
The city didn't specify the kind of misconduct Millay is accused of or what consequences he might face. The city says it's now in the process of filling the water superintendent position and is actively scheduling interviews with candidates. Assistant Water Superintendent Chris Savage will oversee the day-to-day operations of the Bureau of Water with help from the city's water distribution consultant. But Millay, the water superintendent who worked to try to fix the city's infrastructure, is now under more scrutiny than ever before.
Nobody wants to live through this again. It's important that we're all on the same page, and I think we are. You know, this stuff has to be repaired, has to be gotten out of the ground, and it needs to be replaced.
The mayor's office declined our request for an interview. We'll keep you updated as we continue to learn more information. In Waterberry, Tim Latow, Fox 61.
Just a few weeks after an Avon daycare worker was arrested and fired for allegedly sexually assaulting a child, the daycare itself announced its closing. The final day for Bright Path will be on May 22nd. The unexpected announcement came on Wednesday, and an investigation into John Carlos Barrios Otero and part of their statement said, quote, "After careful consideration, we've determined that it is in the best interest of our children and families to take this course of action. We believe they deserve an experience without the disruption that Bright Path Avon has faced in recent weeks," end quote. Meantime, attorney Eric Schoenberg is working with dozens of families who could have been affected by this incident. And take a look at the serious rollover crash in I-395 in Norwich from Tuesday. The Norwich Fire Department says Occam Volunteer Fire Department never showed up after being dispatched. The Norwich Fire Department is now calling for a unified and accountable fire service system after emergency response issues with Occam. This isn't the first one. Fox 61's Alicia Hercules is in Norwich with the details.
The Norwich Fire Department says the Occam Fire Department failed to respond due to staffing issues. Occam says the failed response stems from communication issues. A local business owner I spoke with says this level of miscommunication is concerning for everyone in the area.
We're literally gambling with people's lives.
Justin Burrows, the owner of Listel Pizzeria in Norwich, says there should have been a larger response to the accident.
Why weren't other departments mobilized? Why weren't they reached out to?
The Norwich Fire Department Fire Chief Sam Wilson says both they and the Occam Volunteer Fire Department were dispatched to a serious rollover crash on I-395.
Well, Occam did not show up to the call.
He says the city has a dual response to accidents on that stretch of highway. He says at some point the Norwich Fire Department was alerted that there's no response from the Occam Volunteer Fire Department.
The battalion chief managed the scene, took I-395 command, and we worked in conjunction with the Connecticut State Police and American Ambulance to get the patient transported to the area hospital.
He says the lack of response comes from a lack of personnel with the Occam volunteers. Occam Volunteer Fire Department Fire Chief Scott Eggert says the response issues stem from poor communication. He says several Occam members didn't get a notification from the computer aid dispatch until 27 minutes after the initial dispatch. In a statement, Chief Eggert says it was an isolated event that happened from communication delays and dispatch gaps. He says it does not represent a pattern within the Volunteer Fire Department. These issues come 2 months after the Yantic Fire Engine Company was suspended from service following a dispute with the city of Norwich over a new contract agreement. Chief Wilson says the city is aiming to unify its emergency response and establish consistent operational standards.
They don't want to combine into one unified force, and I think that it's to the detriment of the citizens.
Several volunteer fire departments, including Occam and Yantic, have filed a lawsuit against the city over their consolidation efforts. In Norwich, Alicia Hercules, Fox 61.
And still ahead this morning, we'll share how the state is preparing the next generation of leaders in Connecticut manufacturing. And a close look at the new video of a man who police say hit a New Haven police officer earlier this week in the face. Well, the latest coming up.